All awaiting the new year, the new calendar year, and eventually the new financial year. But there is some troubling news for us employees because yes, believe it or not, but our take-home salary or in-hand salary could actually reduce starting the 1st of April, starting the new financial year. Why is that? Let's look at the basics. Now, over the last couple of months, India enacted 4 major labor codes. These were the Code on Wages, the Code on Social Security, the Code on Industrial Relations, and Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions. Now, for our purpose, these 2 codes are really important. They are the reason why we need to have this conversation and explain to you why your take-home salary might go down. Now, the Code on Wages is making certain changes to the definition of basic pay, the wage itself, when it comes to the calculation of PF and gratuity. So, what it's saying is that if the basic salary is less than 50% of CTC, then the CTC needs to be re-engineered or re-jigged because your PF has to be calculated on 50% of CTC. That's what the basic pay should come to, which means that if employees right now have basic of less than 50%, with this change, they will face a hit with their PF contributions going up. I'll just illustrate that with an example in a bit. But largely speaking, the hit is going to be both on employers and on employees because the basic salary itself goes up. So therefore, the PF contribution will go up both from the organization's standpoint and my standpoint. Let's now look at what the structures are currently. The current wage code clearly defines what wages will be. So, of course, it has the basic pay. It has a DNS allowance that some companies have, some don't. It could have a retaining allowance, again, not mandatory, depends on the structure. Then there are all the other components. Some employees have a statutory bonus. Some might get an additional allowance for accommodation. This is, of course, a part of everybody's structure, right? The employer's contribution to PF. There could be a conveyance allowance. There could be other miscellaneous allowances, reimbursements. There is also the special allowance, and this is how a lot of the engineering happens, the balancing act, so to speak. We'll come back to this. Now, let's look at an example. For the sake of simplicity, let's assume that the CTC is 100 rupees. So, this is an employee earning 100 rupees. Let's look at the wage. What is the wage component? Here, we're assuming that the basic pay is 35. The DA, we're assuming is 10. DA has a complicated formula to it. We're not getting into that. Let's just assume that DA is 10. This employee is not very important, has no retention bonus or no retaining allowance. So that's 0. So what's the basic wage coming to? 35 plus 10 plus 0. This is 45 rupees. The rest of his or her CTC, which is 55 rupees, is all part of the other components. All of that comes over here. Now we go back to the rule. The new rule is saying that to calculate PF, you need to make sure that you take 50% of the CTC as basic pay or the basic wage. Right now, 50% of CTC is 50 rupees, but we are at 45 in this example. So we need to meet that 5 rupees shortfall. The company is not going to pay anything additional. It needs to just re-engineer and move 5 rupees from other components to the basic category. Now, what this essentially means is this 5 goes over here, 45 becomes 50, and then the PF liability starts going up. So if we move to the next examples, it'll become very, very clear that as that 50% of CTC gets considered, the calculation simply jumps up higher. So earlier, the PF was on 45% or on 45 rupees. Now the PF has to be calculated on 50 rupees, which is why the hit comes in. This is, of course, going to impact not just the employee, but the employer as well. We look at gratuity. Gratuity is the other big component that's coming in. Now, this is the formula for gratuity. Again, since the definition of basic plus DA itself is moving up, from 45 it goes up to 50 in our example, the gratuity payout also goes up. And this is a hit for a lot of organizations. In fact, lots of HR departments are now looking at this higher liability and how to deal with it. Just a side rule to keep in mind here, there is a 20 lakh rupee gratuity cap as per the Act. So at least that much must be paid out. Above that, the company may or may not pay. If the company chooses to pay, then it will be taxable. Up to 20 lakhs of gratuity is tax-free. Anything above that becomes taxable. It's the company's choice whether it wants to pay more or not pay more. Now, this is on the calculation of gratuity. The other important aspect is what the Social Security Code says on gratuity. And that's pretty good news for employees working on contract. Because now these contractual employees are entitled to gratuity even if they have not completed 5 years in continuous service. Remember, that's what's applicable to permanent employees, right? That you need to be in service for 5 years. But here they're saying even if a contractual employee hasn't completed 5 years, pro rata basis, he or she will get gratuity. Because of this, the Social Security Code says that the companies must actually start thinking of insurance. A gratuity liability could really balloon. So companies must get insurance. It's not clear how much yet. Those are the gray areas that are being worked out. Short point, we really need to watch out for the communication coming in from our HR departments, because we need to see if our salary structures will change, what happens, those calculations become very important.